The Brad Rules!
How's it going, guys? So this is a very special video for me, so I had to do a very special intro for it. So I've done many Sonic videos here on this channel, and everybody knows how important Sonic is to me. Got Sonic and Knuckles tattooed on my body. I mean, it goes without saying, I have been a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog ever since I was a kid, ever since I got my Sega Genesis with Sonic 2 packed into it. So Sonic means so much to me. So this video right here, I want to talk about my top 10 Sonic games. And so guys, without any further ado, I give you this very special video. So I've covered a lot of Sonic games here on this channel, but I got to thinking recently, what are my favorite Sonic games, and more specifically, how would I rank them? So I figured I'd do a classic top 10 list to sort through it all and tell you what the elite Sonic games are. This list is sure to create some discourse, and I'm here for all of it. So take a listen and sound off in the comments and tell me how wrong or right I am. And I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of you telling me I'm wrong. So here we go. Here's my top 10 Sonic games of all time. At number 10, Sonic 1. Bet you thought I wasn't going to include this one. But where would we be without it? The first ever game in this series, the one that gave us the template for what Sonic even is. And I think many would leave it off their list altogether. Fans have been rough on this one throughout recent years, and it's mostly due to how this game slows itself down after the first zone. But no one ever seems to appreciate the level aesthetics and design, not to mention the outstanding music of unpopular stages like Marble Zone and Labyrinth Zone. Sonic 1 is a very good Sonic game and a very good video game in general. And while many other Sonic games have surpassed it one way or another, it's still a game that deserves all our appreciation and respect. I'm really quite annoyed by how many fans shit on this game and make it out to be some kind of desecration of Sonic, when it's the first fucking game to ever exist in the series. Isn't that just a flawed mindset to have? And being that Sonic was never just about speed, and it was always a momentum and physics-based platformer at heart. I think Sonic 1 carries out that concept oh so well. And while certain games cater more to speed, Sonic is a platformer at its core, and you know it. This isn't a fucking racing series, is it? So yeah, Sonic 1 deserves a spot on the list. Case closed, end of story. At number 9, Sonic Advance 2. This is a fine howdy-do. I've been known to have a controversial opinion or two on this channel, and this is probably just as good of an example as any. But this game is challenging, speed-driven, beautiful, and the OST is full of massive bangers. Advance 2 delivers one of the best speed-based experiences Sonic has ever experienced in 2D without having to rely on the boost mechanic. And these graphics are just beautiful, and the sprite art, my god, the sprite art is just magnificent. For anyone who ever complained Sonic games are too easy, give this game a go. I guarantee you'll be crying uncle in no time. Sky Canyon demands your skills, and I'm happy to oblige. It's a game that really puts its faith in the player and just lets you cut loose with the speed and take things as they come. Although some of the enemy placement and traps could be considered unfair, I still can't help but enjoy myself. And playing through this one with every character is so much fun. It's extremely replayable. Just don't bother with the Chaos Emeralds, and it's a very good time. At number 8, Sonic Colors. One of the more lighthearted Sonic games story-wise, with a lot of comedy written into it, leaving behind the apocalyptic, sometimes literally world-shattering events of the previous games. But Sonic Colors managed to warm my heart. From the Right in the Feels intro theme song, Reach for the Stars, to the atmospherically perfect Aquarium Park, to the intriguing new power-ups brought forth by the Wisps, Sonic Colors is just a fun, well-made adventure that seemed to be forgotten until its controversial remaster in 2021. And that's surprising because this game sold so well when it was a Wii exclusive, even outselling Sonic Adventure 2. So it's surprising how little talk there was concerning Sonic Colors. The game lives up to its title with colorful environments, a bright and energetic OST, and it shines brightly among the other games in the Sonic series. At number 7, Sonic Unleashed. Well, if you watch my review of this game, you won't be surprised by what is still to this day the most aesthetically pleasing Sonic game to date. Yes, it's already 2 generations old, but it's still a better looking game than both Sonic Forces and Sonic Frontiers. Sonic's model looks so sharp and the cutscenes are fantastic, especially that opening cutscene. The story, the voice acting, and the presentation make this game feel a cut above the rest. I genuinely enjoyed the Werehog stages, but yes, even I have to admit I wish there was more of what I really love about this game, the day stages, which featured the boost gameplay. And this is it at its best. Challenging, fast-paced, and stylish, Sonic Unleashed is a game that brings a lot to the table, even with the inferior Werehog stages, but by themselves, the day stages are enough to put this game above other Sonic games, because they're just so stellar in design. Plus, this has got to be one of the best OSTs in any Sonic game. It's absolutely fantastic and gives you a lot of variety from energetic to calming pieces. This may be a controversial pick, and I'm not ashamed in the least bit. At number 6, Sonic Adventure. Sonic's first true foray into the land of 3D was one of his best. And although this game is not without its flaws, it's still quite the game. It was also the first attempt at creating a full-fledged story with an endearing hub world full of humans. Yes, humans. Sonic actually now resides among humans, which really shouldn't have been a shock considering Eggman is a human, but it still was. Now it has to be said that Sonic's campaign is far and away the best this game has to offer, with the other characters' playthroughs not exactly delivering on the same thrill and level of fun. Yes, of course, I'm in large part talking about Big's fishing escapades, but I do always have fun with the others to a certain extent, even if it is to a lesser extent. But the fun I get going through this game as Sonic, listening to the incredible OST, and the chill vibes I get running around the Mystic Ruins are all too powerful variables to not put Sonic Adventure on this list and give it all the credit it deserves. At number 5, Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. A fan game on a top 10 list? Brad, what is this? Well, I must say, when a fan game is this good, this polished, and delivers on the quality on a level of a game like Sonic 3 and Knuckles at times, it needs to be on this list. Sonic Triple Trouble, an 8-bit Game Gear game, always stood out as a very jam-packed fun adventure that often got overlooked by the Sonic fandom, mostly being looked at as being inferior to Sonic's 16-bit titles. Well, the developer, Noah and Copeland, changed all that when he redid the entire game and reimagined it, making it into a direct sequel to Sonic 3. The result was absolutely phenomenal, with reworked level design and improved OST, and a host of extras that made this game feel like an official release, and obviously even better than a lot of the official Sonic releases. Sega, I seriously would consider hiring Mr. Copeland and having him be one of Sonic Team's top people. At number 4, Sonic Generations. What do you get when you take 3D and 2D Sonic gameplay and throw in a layer of 2.5D gameplay as well? And on top of that, redesigning a level from each of Sonic's mainline entries, even one from the most unpopular games in Sonic 06, you get one of the greatest Sonic games ever devised. Although the story could have been leagues above what we received, and even the remastered version of the game in Sonic X Shadow Generations failed to capitalize on the opportunity to improve it. but Sonic Generations looks incredible, plays amazing, and delivered some truly fantastic remixed music. The replay value for this one is completely off the charts, and it's kept me coming back for years. City Escape Act 1 and 2 are truly remarkable stages that I even ranked above the Sonic Adventure 2 version in my top 10 Sonic levels video from a few years back. So yeah, you know Sonic Generations definitely did something right, and they did a lot of things right at that, and that's why it earns its spot so high on this list. At number 3, Sonic 2. Sonic 2 was the first Sonic game I ever played. It was bundled with the Genesis I received for Christmas as a kid, and I couldn't have been any happier. Until I hit the Shaft of Doom in Chemical Plant Zone Act 2, that is. Yeah, this game brings back many memories, but it's not just pure nostalgia that took Sonic 2 to this high spot on my list. This is a finely made Sonic game and one of the greatest video games ever created. It took everything from Sonic 1 and multiplied it, making for one of the best video game sequels ever. Not even Mario had a sequel this progressive and creative. It had almost double the number of levels than the first game, although losing the third act from Sonic 1, instead trimming things down to 2, Tails was introduced, and it was quite something to see two characters running around together, even in the one-player mode. It was the first step to widening the universe of Sonic, and everything felt bigger and more epic than the first time around. This was something special, and it still very much is, and Chemical Plant Zone will forever be one of the single best music tracks to ever grace a Sonic game, or any video game for that matter. At number 2, Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania was a game that I'll admit at first I didn't know quite how to feel. I was in love with the fact that we were getting a brand new 2D Sonic game that looked like a souped up version of the Genesis games, but with the majority of the levels being redesigns of old levels with only a handful of new zones thrown in, I couldn't help but feel like this was all too familiar ground, with Sonic Generations only occurring 6 years prior. But as time passed, I realized that many of the levels featured were actually better than their original incarnations, especially downright brilliant ones like Hydro City Zone, and even the new ones, although lacking in terms of quantity, were pretty damn good, especially Press Garden, which really wowed me with its spectacular aesthetic and vibes in Act 2. Sonic Mania is bright, vibrant, and full of life. It feels like a love letter to Sonic and feels so polished, and there's tracks on this game that will drop your jaw to the floor the first time you hear them, especially the soothing heavenliness of Lava Reef Act 2. Mania is an amazing entry in the Sonic series, but not quite the most amazing, because at number 1 is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yes, you probably guessed it, and you also might be punching the air with the realization that Adventure 2 was nowhere to be found on this list. And well, that's not to say I don't like it, because to me, it's not a top 10 Sonic game. And I know many are going to take issue with the fact that Sonic 1 made its way on here, and to tell you the truth, I couldn't care less. Anyway, Sonic 3 and Knuckles has everything I need to be my favorite Sonic game. The best levels, the best sprite of Sonic, the best music, and the most fun I've ever had in any Sonic game. It's technically 2 games in 1, but I and many others look at this game as 2 parts of a whole. Sonic and Knuckles isn't truly a standalone game, but the other half to a game that just couldn't quite make it to the finish line on time. This may be a predictable favorite, but let's be honest folks, there's a reason for that. This is perfection, or as close to it as a game can possibly get in my eyes. Its aesthetics please me beyond all viable human comprehension, and I've listened to the soundtrack outside the game countless times. Yes, even in the gym, nothing pumps you up more for a lift than the epic Act 2 boss music. This is the be-all, end-all for Sonic games. It's a grand adventure, its level design is stellar, and even beyond the very definition of stellar. Every time I start up a new game and see that iconic opening cutscene of Knuckles stealing the Chaos Emeralds and running through my favorite stage of all time, Angel Island, It fills me with an undeniable sense of euphoria and brings a smile to my face. This game makes me happy, very, very happy, and that is what a favorite game should do. So there you have it, folks. Those are my top 10 Sonic games of all time. Let me know what you think in the comments below and tell me what your personal top 10s are. I'd love to know, and we could discuss it. And guys, please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bells to get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and click the dislike button if you fucking hated it. And I want to thank all my subscribers for your continued support. And thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.